systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What is going on, everybody? NFL Sunday, free money Sunday, week 11. It's coming to an end. It's getting sad out here. Little different faces on the screen. Tambo out. Tambo out. Hambone in. I slide to the hosting role. Have to do more of the talking. Hambo, I'm going to keep calling you Hambo. Hambo and Hoop will do more of the talking, though. We'll balance it out on this show. We appreciate everyone hanging out today. 11 games. Hoop, throw it to you first. Always nice talking some football on these Sundays. You got your Lions shirt on. I like that game a little bit. We'll get into it. Think some pretty clear chalk spots, but a lot of ways to get different. How do you see this slate? How was your Sunday morning going over there?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, the nice thing about having a guy like Ham on board, it's like you can call him a variety of things. I mean, just as long as it starts with Ham, you're good to go. You got Hambo if you want to go with it, Hammer, Hambone, Hammer Time. Like there's so many different things you can throw out there. So as long as you start with Ham, the rest doesn't really matter, you know? So
I like Hambone.
Hambone. Yeah, that's what I'm going with, Hambone for sure. And yeah, happy to have Hambone on the show with us here this morning, breaking down the slate. Tambo, King of the Beach. You know, he's had a lot of success in this event over the years, and he has the one entry today, 75 guys in the field, first place 300,000, and I feel pretty good about his chances. So I talked to him this morning. He's feeling good. I'm sure he had some drinks last night. Hopefully he's not too hungover, but I like his chances. So wishing him the best of luck today in that event. In terms of slate today, we have a really good one. I mean, I think it's a really solid slate. We've had a couple pretty ugly slates, but there's some solid spots today to attack. Ownership, I think, should be spread out. I mean, there's nothing that's standing out as, a game that you have to avoid because of ownership or anything like that. So, excited to dive in, break down all the games and get back into that winner circle. A lot of success last week, obviously, over here at SHIPIT Nation and for the past month and a half. I mean, a lot of big time wins. Looking to keep that going today. So, like our chances.
Yeah, no, I love this slate. I'm excited to get into it for sure. Of course, shout out Tambo. Good luck to him. A couple members. Lay the House. Here he is. We were in bed by 9. Lay the House is down there in Miami as well. Hope y'all. Nev's in there as well. Another couple members, I think. Sorry if I'm forgetting you. Good luck to all y'all out there, though. Fun slate. Ham, bring you in. Hambone. Nice to have you in here. You do some baseball content, do some NBA around here. Very sharp mind. You do play a little more on FanDuel than DK. At least you did. You can tell me if that's not the case anymore, but maybe you can talk some FanDuel on this show as well. How's it going in your world? It's been a little minute since I've talked with you.
Yeah, no, it's going good, and I got some large shoes to fill with Tambo, so good luck to Tambo. I think someone in the chat said there's 5 people repping SHIPIT Nation down there in Miami, so good luck to those. I know Lay the House is down there, but I have a Tamboism. It's going to be later in the show, so that's my little nugget for the day. So I got one that, Tambo always does. I'll give it later in the day, but looking forward to talking football. Got some winners, and I think we're going to have a great day over here at SHIPIT Nation.
Oh, yeah. Best days of the year. There's 17 of them. Very excited. 18, I guess, of them nowadays. But playoff football as well. $1 million up top. DD Dry. Save some for the rest of us today. Maybe one of us on the show or watching besides Dalton can get $1 million. Before we get into it, always got to say hi to people in chat. There's a lot more than usual on Sunday morning, but I'm saying everyone's name. Anthony, Scott, Super, Tweezy, Eric, Kyler, Bo, Joey, Reezer, Jay Steele, Armin, Jetty, Eric again, Bill in here, Armin, I said it again, Reezer, CH, Michael, Tony, what is going on, everybody? Lay the Heist, Parabai, Sean, Toga, K-Ped, Wins a Lot, Zodiac Pop, Slappy, what's going on? He had a good MMA team yesterday, fell a little short. King of Smack, Maddie, Mike Carr, what is going on, everybody? Again, appreciate everyone hanging out. If you're just watching for free, you're not a member, and you do want to join, make sure you do use that promo code MAYO, not just NFL. NBA's been crushing. Shout out to Hebrew Cheetah. PGA is a little break, I think, coming up. Then it'll be full swing. MMA still going on. NHL has been crushing. Monthly, 6-month, annual packages, all at ShipItNation.com. Use that promo code MAYO. You get 10% off get in the Discord if you do join as well. Like button also helps us out a ton. Hit that subscribe, helps Mayo out, helps us out, and then head to the Shipping Nation YouTube channel and get in there as well. Hoop, any final thoughts before we talk 11 games and go game by game like always?
Yeah, nothing in particular. Just the one thing I wanted to point out, all our content up on the website. That's one thing, one commitment we've made to our members. We get our content up nice and early, so you have time to digest it and then get in the Discord and ask any questions that you have. So all content live and on the website. Get on over to ShipItNation.com. And then, as always, we appreciate your support on the live shows here. All our shows are live on either here, the Mayo Media Network, or over at the Ship It Nation YouTube channel. One other thing, Tambo's doing the giveaway. He's giving away 10% of his winnings today. So, the one thing that we need to do in order for that to take place quickly is to get those subscription numbers up on the Ship It Nation channel. I'll post it here in the chat, so you guys have the opportunity to get over there. Trying to get to 5,000 right now. Looks like we're at 4.63. So we'd appreciate that support. But yeah, very generous gesture from our guy Tambo, up to 10,000, which if he wins first place. Pretty easy math, $30,000. So that's something that very, very nice of him for sure.
Yeah, very, very generous. Good luck to Tambo and the members out there. And happy birthday to you, King of Smack. You've been in chat a long time. Remember, 45th birthday. Have a good one. Enjoy your day. Hopefully win some money. And there's one other comment I wanted. Always shout out Smarty killed college football. Another day ending in Y. So shout out Smarty for the college football content. That's just in the Discord. You need a membership. We don't charge for it. It's an added piece. Smarty doesn't get paid. He does it. He plays. Generous time that he puts in. A lot of members have had a lot of success because of that. So shout out you, Smarty. Let's go game by game. Ham, I'm going to throw it to you first. First game, New York Giants, Washington Commanders. What a gross total. Giants like a 13-team total. Washington's pretty interesting, though. They're without Antonio Gibson. So Brian Robinson, solid price tag in the mid-tier. Has had a good year as well. Big favorites. I think Commanders defense will be one of the most popular. You can get some Brian Robinson Commanders D leverage or correlation, and I think Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin are also underpriced as well. I do prefer them to Dotson, I think, but I think you can throw Dotson in there as well. Howell's interesting. There's definitely other quarterbacks I like more on this slate, but he drops back 40 plus times. He has weapons, and you get a little, leverage off the Commanders and Brian Robinson, who's going to get some ownership on this slate. So that's the only side I have interest in. There's no chance I'm getting any of these Giants. How do you see this game going down?
Yeah, it's odd that 3 weeks ago everybody was running to the defense to click on the New York Giants when they played these Commanders in Meadowlands. Sam Howell has a few good games. All of a sudden things have changed. I have a little bit of interest of getting contrary and thinking of the Giants. I think great price tag on DK and FanDuel, so I wouldn't hate that. I'm not going to Sam Howell today. I just think there's better options. When you're playing guys like Jamison Crowder and De'Ami Brown, they're playing 5 receivers plus a tight end. I think Brian Robinson is viable. It's going to be chalky. Especially on both sides. Y'all are going to call me crazy, but I don't mind Saquon. Saquon's going to get 25 touches. He has some burst. His offensive line is getting healthier. He's got, Tommy DeVito back there, who I actually don't hate in large field tournaments, but Saquon would be the extend to me for the Giants, I think. I don't mind him. He's going to get 25 touches. I wrote it up on my slate plan, but he was in the fourth quarter when they were down 35 points last week in Dallas for some unknown reason. So they're going to play this guy. He's going to get touches. Positive touchdown regression is coming his way. And Chase Young and Montez Sweat, they're not there anymore. So this Commanders defense, I can't play them either just because they've given up, in my opinion. So that's the extent of it for me.
Yeah, no, I get it. They traded away their best pieces. The defense doesn't look good. It's just I'm betting against DeVito. I'm betting against the offense. I get your point on Saquon for sure, though. 25 plus touches. His talents, you can always break one. That's part of the reason I got on Saquon. I played him, I think, 2-3 weeks in a row at low ownership for that exact reason. On this slate, if I go up, I just know I'm probably going C-Mac today, though. Hoop, how do you see? I think you're probably on the same page with the Giants side. You get the more contrarian takes from Hambone down there, a little of the chalkier takes up top from us, but any Giants for you? Talk about Washington. That's an interesting spot.
Yeah, I'm going to be off the Giants. The Saquon take, no one's going to be on him. There's 7 or 8, running backs that will soak up almost all the ownership today. So any play like that is going to be, very low owned. And Yeah, I mean, there's routes where the Giants win this game for sure. Saquon finds the box twice. Obviously, I'm not playing him, but in terms of large field tournaments, super low owned guy that has the chance to get a ton of touches, and obviously has the big TD upside. So the play does make sense. I'm not messing with any of these pass catchers though. On the Giants side, Brian Robinson I think is a really strong play. I like him. On DK is 5,800. The ownership is going to follow. He'll be pretty highly owned, but on FanDuel he's like 7,200, priced around a lot of other guys, and I think the ownership comes in much lower over there on FanDuel. I want to play him on FanDuel for sure at 72, where I don't think he's going to be as highly owned. They're 10-point favorites at home. He's looked really good. I mean, last season he looked good. Now Antonio Gibson's out. I think he's a really, really strong option at running back. And then in terms of Howell, I don't mind playing him. I will have some of him in my 150, just because I think there's clear guys to pair him with. McLaurin, I like Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and Logan Thomas. But the annoying part is, mixing in some of those other guys, where they play Diami Brown and Crowder and guys like that. We'll mix in a little bit, but I like Howell to McLaurin, Dotson, Samuel, and Thomas. Not going to be my highest owned stacks, but I will have some just because they do have the propensity to just go back and pass it a ton, and that's obviously good for fantasy points. So a little higher on the Washington passing game than our guy Ham, but I mean Brian Robinson I think is a really, really strong play today.
You have a lean on those Dotsons, McLaurin, Samuels, Thomas of the world?
Yeah, I mean it's Dotson I kind of stands out to me. I mean he seems to be the one that has that big slate winning type upside. Should be really, really low owned. McLaurin's going to get some ownership for sure, but Dotson, man, like something stands out at 3, 4, 5% owned, so easy to get over the field on a guy like Dotson.
Yeah, I hear that. I think I like Curtis Samuel the most.
Yeah, I'm good with him too. I like him.
Kind of leverage Rondale, some ownership down there in the same price range, kind of. But yeah, any of those guys. I mean, Howell drop back. Who's going to get that 2-touchdown game? They all have that upside, which makes Howell a little interesting with rushing upside too. So happy birthday to you as well, Ronald. 395 people watching. So yeah, I guess the odds, a couple birthdays out there. Not bad. Have a great day, Ronald. Hopefully,
that is an interesting way to look at it. I never really thought about it like that. A lot of people come in with the birthdays. We're about 395, so we should have at least one, and then potentially two. So that does kind of add up. I like that call there.
Sometimes always thinking. You were thinking math, talking math earlier. Always got to be thinking numbers right here. But let's get to the next game of the slate, and this is the one everyone came. Dallas Cowboys, Hoop's favorite squad. He took off the Lions. Did you have the Lions sweatshirt on? No, you had it on last. It was on pre-show, wasn't it?
No, I had it on. Yeah, I took it off. I made the rookie mistake of hitting the shower right before the show started. So then I put the hoodie on and I started sitting here. I'm like, man, I'm starting to sweat a little bit.
You were like,
shed some layers.
You're like, no, I might need some Dallas gear coming on. All they do is keep printing.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Dallas, we're talking right here. Dallas, Carolina. Man, I mean, no one's going to be like, it's 42.5 total. Dallas has one of the highest team totals, 26, sitting around. Carolina's just absolutely awful. Bryce Young can't push the ball down the field. It makes sense why Dallas is lower owned. They stack's expensive nowadays, but CD's getting all the work. Touch on Pollard, but Dak's your boy. What are you doing in this game? Ferguson's there at tight end too. Low ownership. You got to be going back.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas, the passing offense has made myself and members a lot of money this season. And my 3 biggest wins so far this NFL season have revolved around Dak Prescott in the passing game, and they've looked really good. I've shit on Dak, for a long time, many years. And I still think when push comes to shove, like he's going to, fail this team at some point in the playoffs or wherever it is. But for fantasy purposes, I think we can just keep going back to him. Again, another week where low ownership on Dak and CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson. The entire passing game is going to be for almost unowned, and they've nuked 3 to 4 slates so far this season. I'm going right back to them. Easy to get overweight on them. People are wanting to pay down at quarterback today. If people are spending up at wide receiver, it's going to go directly to Tyreek Hill, not CeeDee Lamb. I'm going right back to these guys today. And again, it's easy to get overweight. Now, the one pause for concern for me is I know we've been saying it a lot, and I haven't made like the strong stance that this is it. I'm going to today. It's Tony Pollard week today. Like he is going to have a big day, and I do think there's paths where the passing game and Tony Pollard can get there together. So I am playing a ton of Tony Pollard today. We've made every argument possible, every show. Anyone in the industry about Tony Pollard. I think this is it. Like you got the talk, the players are talking. CeeDee Lamb has the quote where, we got to get TP going. What a terrible nickname, by the way. I know it's his initials, but like if your nickname's TP, like you gotta find something different in there. But I do think he gets going. You got Rico Dowdle, if that's how you pronounce his name, like questionable, so he might potentially sit.
I think he's even doubtful now.
Is he doubtful? Yeah, it was a late.
So.
Yeah, it's a late week addition to the injury report. If you want to make some money today, play Tony Pollard. It's very simple.
No, maybe you're still right. He's questionable. I don't know why I thought.
Well, it was like it doesn't sound promising. Like it was a late addition to the injury report. The way the wording was on it definitely sounded like he's closer to doubtful than playing.
Yeah, and regardless, I mean, they maybe Deuce Vaughn will get a couple of those snaps. I mean, it may be a couple snaps more, but McCarthy's probably going to mix in some running back too at some point. But it's Pollard's backfield until he gets tired. I don't know. This game's tougher for me. Like they keep smashing. I definitely like this comment sticks out a lot because I always prefer Dak way more at home than the road. Bryce Young cannot do anything, so I think there's risk of Carolina just trying to establish it on the ground, time of possession that way. So I'm definitely lower, and I don't know, man. I need to see it from Tony Pollard. I get it, Hoop. I hope you're the first one on there. Ownership.
No, Tyler, you're playing him today. Come on.
Oh my!
You're on him. Bump it. Whatever you're playing today, just bump it a little somewhere between 5 to 10% more for me. That's all I ask.
All right, so it's still be like 15%.
Oh, so you're saying playing 5 to 10%?
Yeah, exactly. Ham, what are you doing? Maybe you can help too. But are you on the Hoop side on Dallas? And I hope you don't say anyone on Carolina.
No, yeah. So Hoop and I are aligning. I'm normally, like you said, the contrarian guy. I mean, it's a Tony Pollard week. He's in a.
But this is a contrarian, though. This is a contrarian spot, though, because people are off Dallas.
Yeah. I guess so. I think they'll be on Tony Pollard. I think he comes in higher owned. But man, we talked a little bit about pre-show. CeeDee Lamb. I love CeeDee Lamb today. He's sub 10% for a guy that all he's done his last 3 weeks have had 10 plus catches for 150 plus yards. Going up against this Carolina team that's missing J.C. Horn, missing C.J. Henderson, two high-end picks that they've had. They've been gone for a couple weeks, but this Carolina secondary is not what it was earlier in the season. They do get Brian Burns back, their top pass rusher. But how do you not love CeeDee Lamb? How do you not love Tony Pollard? And if those two go off, then you would think that Dak goes off as well. Maybe 3 straight weeks for Mr. Hoop with Dak. I may be riding the Dak train with Hoop today. I love these Cowboys. And, yeah, you can't play any of these Panthers. Bryce Young, he is so bad. And that defense for Dallas is so good. So, yeah, no Panthers for me. Love the Cowboys with my guy Hoop. All
right, maybe I'll bump it a little more than that. Ham loves it. Hoop loves it.
He will be. Pollard will have solid ownership.
Oh, he's not
on FanDuel. He's going to have a ton, but on DK, it's much lower because of the price tag. So, definitely both spots for me.
Yeah, no, the DK running back room, it's loaded. Like there's so many options right in that range. Whereas FanDuel, the price, it definitely sticks out. So agree with you there. Which would make my Dallas interest the most would be on FanDuel, I think, the passing attack, because they're very expensive. Dak, CD, but Pollard's ownership so much. If the game scripts keep going this way and they keep putting up 40 and Pollard doesn't have anything to do with it, you get all the leverage off there. So I think that's interesting over there on FanDuel. We'll keep it rolling. Again, we appreciate almost 500 watching. Appreciate that like button. Don't want to get yelled at by Tambo when he comes back and says, what's going on with these likes? He would appreciate it out there. Give him some good mojo going in to try and win $300,000. Next game on the slate, the game of the week for DFS. There's no doubt about that. Arizona Cardinals heading to Houston. Hoop's second favorite quarterback, Kyler Murray, taking on CJ Stroud. Going to be a fun one to watch, no doubt. A lot of chalk in this game. We are missing Noah Brown, the absolute hero the past 2 weeks. Tank Dell's still going to be uber popular. Nico Collins will be back, though. Still no Dameon Pierce. Singletary will be very popular on both sites as well. On the Cardinal side, Michael Wilson's questionable, and I'm not sure
he's out.
He's going to play. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think he was, so he's out for sure. Rondale Moore, popular. Trey McBride, popular. Very popular is Trey McBride. And Hollywood Brown, it's not going to be like as popular those two, but I think he's going to be up there. People are going to play both sides of the quarterbacks as well. Hoop, I'll go to you first. It's a great spot, but how do you get different? Can you jam it? Can you overstack it? Do you fade it? What do you do?
Yeah, so this is going to be which is crazy. Like coming into the season to say week 11, we're on the Cardinals and the Texans game is the premier fantasy game, but that's kind
of for the highest total too, 48 with the Lions.
Yeah, so that's basically where we're at. This is the spot. And a little bit bummed about the Michael Wilson thing because I was already on the Cardinals side, but now it's going to get just all that much more popular, like Marquise Brown, Rondale Moore, Trey McBride. All their ownership comes up a little bit more, but still too good of a spot for me. I mean, Kyler Murray, another quarterback that I've absolutely shit on, and he made me a lot of money last week. In his return, he looked solid for fantasy purposes. Like he did everything that you wanted him to do. Good connection with Trey McBride. Rondale Moore got a little more involved, and then he ran the ball as well. So it's everything you want from a fantasy perspective, and the price is still too cheap. I mean, you get this entire offense for just like dirt cheap. Kyler, underpriced to me. Marquise Brown on DK, it's a cheap price tag. Rondale Moore at 3.3, 8 targets last week in on him, and then Trey McBride looks like the real deal. And, when you consider tight end, it's important to, look at the connection with the quarterback. And these guys clearly have a connection. Went 8 for 131 last week. And they're in a dome today, potentially trailing. Everything just lines up, perfectly for this offense today. But they will be popular. So how do you get different? And I think it's the point that you said. You kind of look to maybe overstack this situation. Don't rule yourself out of this game because you're playing it because you think it's going to be high scoring. So get all the cheap pieces in here. All those guys, Murray, Brown, Moore, McBride, will all be pretty popular. Include James Conner, probably lower owned. I mean, there's a lot of running backs today that are a lot of running backs in good spots. He's probably like the 7th or 8th in terms of ownership. I think that's a guy that you want to get some exposure to, especially in these Cardinals, in lineups where you don't have Cardinal pass catchers. That's where Connor's best suited. On the Texans side, not as much ownership besides Devin Singletary, probably the highest owned running back on the slate. He absolutely went off last week. He looked really good. Gets another really solid situation here today. The price is way too low. He's going to be very, very popular. CJ Stroud, he's looked great. Ownership not following though. I mean, you can get him. It looks like 7-8%. Like, man, he's looked really good. Nico Collins, probably not much ownership. He was injured all week, or not injured. He was on the injury report all week. 6.7K. People are just going to Tank Dell over him. I think Nico Collins is a way to get a little bit different today. Tank Dell looks like a stud. We've talked about him a ton on previous shows. 5.9 on DK. He's going to get a lot of ownership. 7K on FanDuel. The ownership will be a little lower, but he'll still get a chunk. And then Robert Woods, fine value play on the slate. Dalton Schultz is another way, I think, to get a little bit different in this game. The ownership difference between McBride and Schultz is going to be substantial. Most people are just going right to McBride. You can go to Schultz in this game and get different. Overstack, Nico Collins, James Conner, I think are the 3 ways to get different in this game.
Yeah, I don't think you could have said any better. It's the clear. If you want to go low-owned pieces, Nico, Robert Woods, James Conner, they all have passed. Someone said who steps in for Wilson. I think some Greg Dortch, and they also got this like Andre Basili guy. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It's not a showdown slate. Don't think you need to go there. I totally feel this, our man Junior, because I've been playing so much Hollywood, and it feels like every game, man, something off his fingertips in the end zone, just overthrown, out of bounds. Feels like a nuclear Hollywood spot, so I definitely love that. Yeah, I'm going to be playing this game. There's no doubt about that. Ham can get different in other spots as well. I like the overstack idea. Who are some of your favorite pieces on it? How are you attacking this one?
Yeah, this is my Tambo special, right? He always gives you that 2v2. Mine is you get off Daryl's not Daryl Singletary. That's an old country singer.
Devin Singletary. How old is this man?
Oh man, Daryl Singletary.
That is who?
From back in the late 90s.
No, Ham's got a few. I think Ham even has a few years on me, so he's in a
that's
different.
what I thought. There's levels.
Yeah. There's levels to the.
I just
get
sat
up
in on someone
Singletary.
not knowing it from an old man. I like this. Get you
Get
rising.
up
Maybe
Singletary and you go Connor. You get off McBride, and it's a different game, but you go Komet. It's $100 difference. Komet's got a great matchup against the Lions. You get off Chalk McBride. You get off Chalk Singletary. And Hoop said it. I love James Conner today in this matchup. He is going to be lower owned. But, man, how do you not play Rondale Moore on DraftKings at 3,300? No Michael Wilson. You really got, three options. You got McBride, you got Hollywood, and you got Rondale Moore. And I heard y'all talk about it on the Cash Show. Rondale Moore, 8 targets on last Sunday. He's got that connection that Hoop talks about with Kyler Murray. He's in, he could get, 2 to 4 carries as well for Rondale. So we want to get him the ball. 3,300. He's tough to fade, in my opinion, especially on cash. And then on the other side, I like Tank Dell on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, Tank Dell, 7,000. Nico Collins, 7,200. We know touchdowns are much more valuable over on FanDuel. Nico Collins will come into half the ownership. I think Nico Collins is a smash play over on FanDuel compared to Tank Dell. I would definitely be doing that. But and then McBride. McBride is tough. He's a tough fade as well. 4,400. 10 catches 3 weeks ago, 8 catches last week. I understand it was a different quarterback 3 weeks ago, but he's been playing really, really good football. So this game is going to be popular. Hoop alluded to it. You're going to just have to get different. I think an onslaught might not be the worst thing. I definitely think you need Collins and or Connor as well if you want to differentiate yourself.
Yep, great breakdown. It's the chalk game, second or tied for the highest total on the slate. It's mainly chalk because missing pieces on both sides, and the pricing is still too cheap. Kyler has the rushing upside. I agree. Stroud, I think, will come in probably a little lower owned than people think, and he's absolutely been balling. So, yeah, I see some questions about certain players. We'll get to the games. We're going game by game, so we'll touch on some of these guys when we do get to that. Again, like button helps us out a ton. Always do appreciate it. Bringing you free content Sunday morning. Let's get to the next game on the slate. Tennessee Titans headed to Jacksonville. Looking at 40 total in this one. Some ownership on the Jags. I think Evan Ingram gets some, ETN, Christian Kirk, but nothing crazy, especially from the game we just got done talking about. I don't know. I think Ingram's interesting at tight end, right by Trey McBride. McBride's going to be way more popular, but I think rightfully so, man. McBride's definitely in a better spot. Less competition for targets. ETN always has that upside as the workhorse. Throw it to you. Actually, I don't want Hoops take first because I know I'm going to shake my head at it. Ham, what are you doing in this one? Please tell me you aren't playing Trevor Lawrence.
No Trevor Lawrence for me, but on FanDuel, he is 7,000, so I don't think it's the worst play. I like his pass catchers. I mean, who is he going to throw it to? He's got Christian Kirk and he's got Calvin Ridley. I know people are crapping on Ridley. I like Ridley. I mean, they don't have the Titans, that is, aren't going to have anybody that can cover him. Sean Murphy-Bunting is out for this game. This Titans team is just atrocious. I'm not playing any Titans. I'm hearing some Derrick Henry love. I can't do it. He's losing snaps to Tajay Sharp. The Titans just aren't any good. They are my hometown team, so it's tough for me to say that, but they're not any good. And I think this front four for Jacksonville is going to give them trouble. So the only interest for me would be Christian Kirk and then Calvin Ridley, and then you could play ETN. He's just so expensive. I don't think I'll get there today.
Hey, your hometown team's cheeks, mine's cheeks too. So don't worry, Ham. We got who can carry the load there.
I'm in Detroit.
Yeah,
got room for you.
Man, that feels weird to say in my lifetime, but
Nate's saying that Trevor's going to print today. So
I was gonna say, here we go, Hoop, because I saw it this morning. If you watch the cast show, we had some fun with it last week. Hoop said he wasn't playing Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't like 15 DK points. He had him in his pool, and I think we're getting another 15 Trevor Lawrence DK points, and Hoop's playing him today.
Oh, gosh. So I said 15 last week, and I overshot by 10. Imagine that, by taking a guy and saying he's going to get 15 fantasy points, a starting quarterback in the NFL in a good spot. Not in a good spot, but he was priced cheap, and he gets 5 fantasy points. And I think a majority of it was in garbage time. Like he had 2 for the most part. Man, so the price is really cheap on FanDuel, like Cam said, at $7K. Like $7K. Like, come on. Like, get us 20 fantasy points, like one freaking time in a good spot at home. Titans, better against the run. Like, I'm playing some, and it just makes me want to vomit because you know what's coming. Like, you know what's coming, but I like the pass catchers. I like Kirk. I like Ingram. Ridley should be low owned, and he does pass to ETN a little bit too. So you have like 4 pairing options. It's gross. It makes me want to throw up, but I will have some Trevor Lawrence today. It does not feel good. Like, it does not feel good at all. You know, it sucks. Like when you do something like this and you know what the end result's going to be. Like, you're going to be disappointed.
You won enough past couple of weeks. You got to donate some back to the ecosystem.
There we go. Well, all right, yeah, that makes me feel a little bit better about the situation. Then, yeah, all right.
Just play in the lower dollar stuff. Just play with the lower dollar stuff where we're all in there. Donate to us, not the other rich people.
Yeah,
who's your bring back? Hoop? Do you have any? Who's your bring back on the other side? Please don't say Derrick Henry. Or
nobody. Definitely nobody. I'm not playing anyone. I mean, if I was playing anyone on the other side, maybe Chig for cheap. I don't know. Like, I like Chig a little bit. I'm definitely not playing any of these Titans guys, though. It's a pretty bad spot, a dead team. But I will reluctantly have some Trevor Lawrence today. And I'm not like, where's Nades is saying, come on, 25 Nades. Like, come on. What's the saying that I like to use? Oh, yeah. Expect nothing and you won't be disappointed. So don't get your expectations too high. When you play Trevor Lawrence, bank on 15. So just know that you're getting 15, maybe. That's the ceiling. And then, obviously hope for more. But expect nothing and you won't be disappointed. A perfect quote when you play a guy like Trevor Lawrence.
And you somewhere are still going to keep clicking that button for the 15 ceiling.
Yeah, I was off last week, but it's like Ham said, that FanDuel price, they keep it super low.
Just like Pollard.
I'm fine.
I was like, fine.
Yes. Well, Pollard, I'm telling you, I've not felt as confident in a play in a while. Like, it's Pollard day. I'm telling you. It is Pollard.
All right. Day. I'm bumping mine up. Hoop's been too hot. I'm bumping them up.
It's Pollard day. But it could also be Dak and CD day as well. So, like, don't take that as you can't play the Dallas passing attack, because you definitely can.
Yeah.
They got there last week. Pollard, it's so tilting when they're on the one and Dak's throwing touchdowns in and we don't need that today, Hoop. We need that to go to Pollard.
It's Mike McCarthy. Don't expect that to ever happen. Let's get to the next game. Maybe I can't bump it because I'd have a Mike McCarthy heart attack. So I don't know, Hoop. We'll see. Let's get to the next game on the slate. Speaking of Mike McCarthy, old Packers team. Man, I can't. Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy. Anyway, Aaron Jones is the only player I'm playing in this game. I get the Herbert stuff, Eckler, Keenan. They're too expensive for me. If I'm going up at running back, I'm playing C-Mac. Packers, the D's been pretty tough on quarterbacks this year. And as far as Jordan Love, I'm not getting into anywhere on that passing game. So don't even love Packers D. I think the correlation's fine. Aaron Jones or bust. Hoop, what are you doing in this one?
Yeah, Aaron Jones, I'm good with. The price is super cheap at home. Fine with him. I will have some Eckler. Chargers are favored here. I don't really love the passing attack for the Chargers. So, hopefully it's just all Eckler. Obviously, he's always a better DK play, but the price on FanDuel is pretty appealing as well. He is.
You get a bigger discount from C-Mac, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's 88, but it's a $1,200 difference from Christian McCaffrey. So, the running backs for sure. I will say Guyton is out on the Chargers side, so Quentin Johnson on DK at 4.2.
There you go, Hoop.
You also need to touch on Parham. You also need to touch on Parham because of Everett. Everyone keeps
I'm getting there. Yeah, I'm working my way down.
All right.
Quentin Johnson, though, on FanDuel is like $6,200. Like, what did he ever do to get a $6,200 price tag? I think that's what it is, right, Ham?
Yeah, that's right. 62? Hey, they know. Yeah. They saw him get in the box. I called it last week, Hoop. I called Quentin Johnson. Now, he didn't do much else outside that 1-yard touchdown catch, but, hey, no Guyton. Keenan's hurt. Let's go, baby.
I'm gonna have him. I'm having him on DK. I cannot click the 6.2 though. Like,
that's pricey for him.
That makes me a little nervous. But then Parham, 3,100 on DK. Like, he's already their red zone guy. Now he's gonna get some work in the middle of the field as well. I'll have some Parham. Not a ton. I mean, he's gonna be very, very low owned. Not like a core player or anything, but again, he's got the two touchdown upside, and he's proven it multiple times. So in on Parham a little bit, just a little. That's all you need. Just a little sprinkle, little taste.
I hope. It's just like there's so many dudes on this Chargers team that Herbert can go to, and he spreads it out. Ham, are you? I don't know. It's just Aaron Jones or bust for me. Hoop has a little more interest on these guys. Sounds like you have some interest on these Chargers guys. And talk about Jaden Reed. I think this is interesting. He has been pretty good. It is a Packers fan asking to say about Jaden Reed, so that makes a little sense. But Love has loved him, and he is pretty cheap and will be unowned in that Rondale Moore-ish range. So what do you got?
Yeah, I'm a little bit different, going that contrarian. I do like Eckler. My gross Chargers play of the day, though, is going to be Joshua Kelly. I mean, we saw with this Steelers team. I mean, Jalen Warren ran for over 100. Najee got in the box last week. I mean, Joshua Kelly's going to get more run, I think, today. He's going to get some more carries. So I don't mind Joshua Kelly, especially on FanDuel where he's 4,900. I like that, actually, because these Packers, they can guard receivers. They cannot defend the run. So I don't mind Joshua Kelly and obviously Austin Eckler. But with that being said, I like your boy Jordan Love today as well. This Chargers defense, especially this passing, this secondary, horrendous. We saw with the Lions. Now I don't think that he's Jared Goff. I don't like Jaden Reed. I like Christian Watson, 5'7" on FanDuel. Hoop, that should interest you.
He's cheap.
That's way too cheap for him. Dobbs is, I think, 6,300. Musgrave is 5,200. Another pivot off the chalky McBride. This Packers attack, for all you Wisconsinites, title and Nades, get on the Jordan Love train, baby, because we're going to have a good day over there. And obviously Aaron Jones. But I like this passing attack. This Chargers defense is not any good. Playing in the early time slot. Yeah, give me these Packers today.
Ham don't like money. Hoop don't like money with Trevor Lawrence. What gross quarterback am I going to say where I don't like money? We all have him. I don't know. He has some rushing upside. The pass catchers are cheap. I get it. He's going to be unknown. Like no one's going to play Jordan Love. So I get it.
Jaden Reed is splitting time with Wicks. They're about 50-50 split. So I don't like either one of those. It would be Dobbs, Watson, and Musgrave for me with an Austin Eckler bring back though. But yeah, we're shipping today with Jordan Love, baby.
I think my boys sitting over there, I think they heard me and they're talking right now laughing. And if I told them you said the words for shipping with Jordan Love, they will definitely be laughing. Because we watch him every single week and we just cannot. Yeah, he's cheeks is right. We'll just leave it at that. But hey, it's DFS. It's one game. He has rushing upside. Maybe you bump a little Jordan Love today.
The only thing you're shipping with Jordan Love is your money out of your FanDuel account.
I'm coming on this show next Sunday once he shifts. And I'm gonna have my what number is he? 10. I'm gonna have my 10 Green Bay jersey sitting on my chest, baby. Once we shift, I gotta play him now. I just have to.
You will.
It's got to be it's got to be unowned though. I mean, his ownership's got to be like just zero, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, he'll at least be 0.01 because I'll have him on a couple teams.
It's 1% to 2%. So I mean, there you go.
I don't mind it, Green Bay D. Since I like Aaron Jones, I think it's fine, but I still don't love it by any means. Just Aaron Jones. Plus, for me, Ham made some cases for the past game. Let's go to I didn't like the last one, but this one definitely feels like a catch-up game. Browns, Steelers. I mean, man, can you get a lower total? What do we got in this one? 34.5. I think it came up a little bit. 34.5 with the Browns favored by 2. I got nothing. Ham, I'll go back to you. I'm not wasting time for myself.
You could go watch an Iowa Hawkeyes game. That's about where you get a 34-point total. This game, yeah, this is a cross-off for me. I thought Jerome Ford earlier in the week, but, man, DTR was so bad his first time out. Maybe with a full week of preparation, he's better. But both of these defenses are really good. I expect a lot of runs and not going very far. So this game, can't play them all. This one, I'm out on this game.
Hoop.
A couple gross plays. I don't know if they're gross. A couple guys that interest me, I guess, in this game. Jerome Ford, I think more on like FanDuel, the price. What's the FanDuel price? It might be a little bit better. He's no, it's DK where he's 52. Like it's a gross play. And I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'll end up playing him.
You don't like money if you play Jerome Ford.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're getting on me for playing Jordan Love. You're talking about Jerome Ford and a 30 total. Come on, who?
Yeah, they're favored, though. They're favored at home. Like,
expected to score a whopping 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they got it 17.
Anytime they snip the 10-yard line, they put in 27 Kareem Hunt. Like, it's like, come on, man. Can my man get some goal line touches?
So annoying, so frustrating. But You guys don't like Pat Freiermuth, 2.5K?
I think I like Njoku more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think both teams struggle to move the ball.
2.5 though. I mean, all the nice solid tight ends this week are like the 4K range. Freiermuth
feels like don't you feel like the upside, like it just feels like one of those guys might just get you 20, like Freiermuth, like the upside. I get it though. I mean, he's free. Gets you on a different.
I do think it's a 2 tight end sort of week though. I think you can play
definitely
tight end and flex because some of these guys do have that big upside for sure. But man, 2.5 for Freiermuth, I got to take a chance. And then been playing Deontay Johnson. I mean, the targets are just way up there. He's 5K. I mean, don't love him as much this week, but yeah, gosh, last week yeah, maybe not him. All right, yeah, we'll just stick with Freiermuth there.
I don't hate the Freiermuth. You said it, Hoop. I mean, 2.5 for that guy. I mean, normally he's like in that 4,000, 4.5 range, and he's for 70 yards. I mean, that's a lot.
The price difference between him and all the other tight ends that are going to be popular this week is substantial. Like you can go from you can go from a 7K wide receiver and upgrade to like Tyreek Hill or something. So I'm interested in him. That's it though.
I get it. Maybe I should like him probably a little more. That range down there is gross. That whole game though is gross. If you have no one on that game, 11 game slate, make it a 10 game slate.
Yeah.
Seems pretty easy to me, but ownership, that's not a contrarian take by any means. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is starting DTR. He is starting. Watson out for the year. Let's keep it rolling. Hoop Squad. This one's going to be a fun one. Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. Looking at the total in this one, tied for the highest at 48. I love both sides of this ball. There's a lot of options you can play. I prefer the Chicago side, though, for sure, when it comes to stacking. The target share, his weapons, a lot thinner. There's Kmet, there's DJ Moore. That's all I want to play. I think you can play them both. I think they are both underpriced. Can definitely just roll a skinny stack, though. Just Fields with one of them. Love Fields rushing upside. He's going to drop back a ton. Probably trailing. Detroit can't get gashed on the ground. Saw it with Lamar. He's overpriced on DK, so the ownership's going to be low. Still love him there. FanDuel will be much more popular, but his pass catchers won't be as popular. I'm in on the Fields train, so maybe this is where I don't like money. You guys can chirp me. On the Lions side, so many weapons. Laporta, Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Montgomery. Gibbs did out-snap Montgomery and got more work last week. I'm on the Gibbs train, man. The dude's good. And I like Detroit, I think, probably playing from ahead. Field dropping back more as a game script. So I'm in on this game, but I also love Amon-Ra, Laporta. Give me the Field side, though. In tournaments, Hoop, got to start with you, the Lions, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to sell me on this one a little bit more. I get it, like the highest total and all that. Fields has the cheap price tag on FanDuel, but I don't know if I love it. Like I just think the Lions smoke the Bears today. I just don't think there's much coming back on the Bears side in terms of offensive pressure to keep this competitive. And if the Lions are playing with a big lead, like I just see them giving it to David Montgomery a lot. So I don't know, like. Scares me. I'll have some pieces. Like I'll have St. Brown. I'll have Laporta. I'll have Kmet. I'll probably play some Fields. But, yeah, I'm not as high on this game. I think the Lions just roll in this one. And if the Lions are rolling, I think we see a lot of David Montgomery. And I don't think I'm going to be playing David Montgomery either. So, don't necessarily love it. I think the reason we saw Gibbs so much last week was because he's always going to be the guy in those back and forth type games. I just don't know if we get the back and forth. If you think we get the back and forth, then this game makes sense. I don't necessarily think that we do get it. I will have some pieces. Like I said, I'll have Fields on FanDuel with DJ Moore, with Kmet. I'll have Amon-Ra St. Brown, like a game script proof type guy is Amon-Ra St. Brown. He can get there in any sort of game script. Laporta, same thing, good with him. But I'm not going to be like wildly over the field on this one.
Which side you on? Hoop side or my side?
It's tough to go against Hoop. That's his team, and he's been shipping. But, man, this game in a dome, we got clear pieces on the Bears. The Lions struggle against tight ends, so I love Kmet. I talked about that earlier. They struggle against, we saw what Keenan Allen did to him last week. I do think Justin Fields is your cash game quarterback on FanDuel at 7,400. On the flip side, the Bears are who we thought they were, right? I just don't think they're very good. I think Montgomery gashes them. I'm not even going into the revenge game narrative. I just think that this offensive line is going to beat up on this beat up Bears team. I think Amon-Ra eats. I love stacking Goff with one of his running backs and two of his pass catchers, which would be Amon-Ra and Laporta. Jamison Williams played roughly 50% of the snaps last week. That's the most he's played since he's been back. He's boom or bust, though, right? You'd only want to play him if you're playing, I'd say, 20-plus teams. So, Hoop, going against you, I think this game shoots out. I definitely think the Lions team total goes over. But, yeah, if it gets to be like 28-0, I'm with Hoop that they'll just run the ball, just bleed the clock. But hopefully we can get some back and forth because I think this game shoots out for sure today in the Dome.
I like it, Ham. Ham and I on the side, but Hoop's been so hot. Maybe don't go against the Hoopster. Fun 11 games.
It's clear though. If you think the Bears can score and move the ball, it will be a great game. I mean, that's what it comes down to for me in this one. Whether you think the Bears can be productive offensively. If you think the Bears can be productive offensively, this could be the game. So I agree with you guys from that standpoint. I just don't necessarily have the confidence in the Bears moving the football.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get the drop. If the game script goes your way, at least you're going to get all the Fields draft backs, and that's kind of my thought process. Like, hopefully you can escape and you get Kmet, you get DJ Moore. But we got one game. Again, appreciate everyone hanging out. Like button helps us out a ton. If you do want to join us at ShipItNation.com, projections are up. DK, FanDuel, ownership up, cash report up, GPP cores up, tools up. Everything is up on the site. Any updates will be in yellow. Head over to ShipItNation.com. Make sure to use that promo code Mayo. $69 a month. Our 6-month package comes out to $59 a month. Annual package comes out to $49 a month. Before using that code, 10% off of all of that. So that goes to the monthly, 6-month, or annual packages. NBA's 5-game slate today. Still have content for that. Cash report, core report, slate plan, NHL still going on today. We'll have content for that. MMA, PGA as well. No better price in the industry. Get in the Discord if you do join as well. Last 1 p.m. Eastern game, 11 over here of the slate. Las Vegas Raiders headed to Miami. Big boy spread. Miami has the highest team total on the slate. The total of this game sitting at 45.5. Hoop, I'll go to you. Can this game stay close? You're worried about the last one. You definitely have to be worried about this one. However, Miami has shown the willingness to drop back still and put it on teams. I love Tyreek. Price tag is great. No one can guard him on Vegas. Outside of him, though, what are you really doing?
Yeah, it's another one of those interesting situations. The team projected to score a lot of points, and they're only going to have one guy essentially that's coming in with ownership, and that's Tyreek Hill. 9,300 on DK. It's too cheap. It's an interesting situation because now you have A-Chain back. You have Mostert there, and they still have the other dudes. It looks like Ahmed and Jeff Wilson are going to be active too. No one's going to be playing these running backs, and it is hard to click those names. But not many people are playing the passing attack either outside of Tyreek. So I think Tua is a very interesting play, single-digit ownership. Jalen Waddle as well. Waddle will get some ownership on FanDuel. They continue to keep him priced down. But on DK at 7.6, you're not looking at much ownership. So I think the Tua side with Hill or Waddle makes a lot of sense. On the Raiders side, the only name I could potentially click here today would be our guy Mayer at 2,700, another cheap tight end. There's a lot of solid tight end plays today, so I don't know how much I'll get to him. I might not get any when I go through and build my teams, but he's the only one on that side that I would potentially play. But I think the Tua stuff for Miami, very interested. They're projected to score 30, and like you said, this team has shown the propensity to just continue to go with the passing attack. Like they'll continue to try to score points, which is what you want. And I guess for me, that's kind of the difference between them and the Lions, where I just think they'll, take the foot off of the pedal and give it to Montgomery. I don't know if the Dolphins will necessarily do that. So I think it's a really good spot, low owned spot outside of Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Raiders got to do something. I can't. Devontae, I know he's ran really bad so far this year. I still don't think I can get to the price. Jacobs, definitely not. Tua, Tyreek. I think Waddle's interesting on DK. He's always got that upside. He's going to be 5%, sub 5% leverage off of Tyreek. So I do think FanDuel, Waddle will be way more popular. Tyreek's way expensive. I think he's very interesting in tournaments there. And then vice versa on DK playing the ownership game. And I did see Rodgers eyeing a Week 16 comeback if they saw her in the playoff return. So that would be cool to see. Back, we were talking Rodgers carrying Mike McCarthy through his career, so thought I'd add that. Someone in chat mentioned it. What are you doing in this one, Ham? Tua, he's expensive, especially on FanDuel. You play more over there. It'll be way lower owned, but is there enough value to fit it?
Yeah, our stack rankings actually love Tua. So I'm with Hoop. I mean, they're slated to score 4 touchdowns, right? I mean, those touchdowns have to come from somewhere, and there's a lot of ways they can go. I personally prefer Mostert over A-Chain. I mean, obviously, I know A-Chain can take it 75 yards. He's only going to get, I would say, 8 to 12 touches, where I think Mostert gets more 12 to 16. Mostert's been very good. He has 13 touchdowns on the year, if I'm not mistaken. So I prefer Mostert over to A-Chain just because I think he's going to get more touches. But yeah, I have a ton of interest in this game. Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and my super gross one here, Braxton Berrios is injured. Cedric Wilson, Stone Men 3K. I think Cedric Wilson's going to play a lot more today, especially if Berrios sits. And it's a direct pivot off Rondale Moore, so I don't mind Cedric Wilson if Braxton Berrios is out. So just make sure to note that.
I like it. I'll touch on this. Tua with Hill or Waddle and Mostert or a chain thoughts. I think you can add one of the running backs into your Tua stacks. I don't love it. Personally, I'm just not on the running game as much. The prices are up there now kind of as a split, but I haven't really been on the A-Chain or the Mostert train all year besides 1 week, and they go off every week. So you got to get which one's right. The floor ceiling combo. I mean,
A-Chain's got 25 plus fantasy points the last 3 games he's played, and he's been out for 4 weeks. And they throw to those guys, especially down near the goal line. They do all that crazy trickeration where they're doing underhand tosses that count as passes. So I don't mind A-Chain or Mostert, with Tua if someone asks that. I don't mind that at all. I don't know your take on that, but I don't mind it.
A chain's really good out of the backfield. He'd be the one I'd prefer a little bit more, but they're both fine, I think. Any thoughts before we get to the next game, Hoop?
Yeah, the running back situation there is tough. I mean, if you can sell yourself on someone, obviously it's a really good spot. I mean, they're projected to score 30. I mean, 4 touchdowns, like Ham said. So if you got a read or you want to take a shot on one of these guys, I don't know. I'd probably go Mostert. I think he gets more work, but like you said, a chain can just go nuclear in limited number of touches, and this is a good spot to do that in. But man, I probably won't be having much.
We're good on the chosen one today. I'm not going to even let Ham or Hoop. I know Hoop's not going to go, but your
come on, I draw the
Robbie, baby.
What team is he on? Is he still in the NFL?
He wasn't as of 2 days ago. They cut it. They cut him, and they brought him back to the practice squad. Now they've elevated him. So he'll be active. He'll be over there handing Tyreek some water when he comes out. So.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't know they went through because he caught when they blew out Denver. He caught a long touchdown. I didn't know they cut him from that standpoint till now. But Robbie, he changed his name to Chosen. Robbie, on the back of his jersey it says Chosen. So learn something new every day. Hoop.
What a dumbass.
Let's get to the next game. Let's get to the next game on the slate. We're in the 4:05 Eastern, 1:4:05 game, 2:4:25 game. So a little 3-game afternoon slate. Prize pool is always big. And of course, we still do have you covered for that content. Afternoon, tiers that Marley crushes, prime time, all those niches of NFL, still monster prize pools for a lot of those. Marley won $20K a couple weeks back in the tiers content. So shows for that, Showdown, Nades, and Ham do as well on the YouTube SHIPIT Nation channel. So head over, check out that content rolling throughout the whole day. NBA going on as well. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, San Fran, 13.5 total, or 13.5 spread. The 49ers are favored by 41.5 total. We just keep getting we'll wipe out all these very large spreads, and all of them are going to get some ownership, really, besides I guess not. Miami wasn't too highly owned. Cowboys not too highly owned. The 49ers will be, though, because of Brock Purdy's price tag. C-Mac, a great price on DK, will be lower owned on FanDuel. Then you have the Ayuks of the world, the Kittles of the world, Debos, if you do want to pair him with anybody. I like C-Mac the most. Purdy, I think, I definitely love him in cash games. It's either him or Kyler. You're not playing anyone else, I think, is a mistake. Tournaments, it's just like you got to get the right pass catcher with them, though. So, I'm curious on your thoughts in tournaments because projects really well. The price is good. Their offense is great. They're going to move the ball. But if you don't get the right pairing, I mean, it's probably going to get a snowflake because the price is the Debos Kittles of the world are pretty expensive.
Yeah, I currently have it in my 150. I have some of these 49er stacks, but now that I look at it, I don't necessarily love it all that much. And I don't think it's going to, Purdy's going to get some ownership. McCaffrey's going to get some ownership, but that's going to be it. Like Debo, not looking like he's coming in with big time ownership. Ayuk, kind of expensive at 7.2.
They're all in Purdy stacks, though.
Exactly. So if you do have Purdy, it's going to be, it's just those two essentially, or with McCaffrey. But it is a good spot here for sure. So yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards keeping some of these guys in there. Purdy to Debo, Ayuk type thing. But yeah, there's not really many other paths to go. Like I'm not paying 6.4 for a Kittle today. Like that's just one of the worst price tags on the slate. So yeah, I'm good with it. McCaffrey on FanDuel, I think stands out at 10K. Should have lower ownership on FanDuel than over on DK where he's 9.3K. I just think this is the game the 49ers roll. I think they're just, they had that little slump. It was a 3-game slide. I think they just start to pound teams, and I think they absolutely pound the Buccaneers today. So yeah, I like McCaffrey the most. I mean, that's my favorite way to get exposure. Obviously not a hot take by any means. But Purdy to these pass catchers, I think is fine just because I see lower ownership on the pass catchers. Not playing any Buccaneers today. I just think it's just probably one of the worst spots on the slate. The Bucs traveling to San Francisco today, so I'll be fading the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
Niners defense. Niners defense you can play too.
I agree. I'm with you there. I like I'll be playing some Kittle just because you get a very low owned at a pretty bad. It's actually a solid position. We always say tight end's bad. It's actually solid because of how good Trey McBride really is. But just say 2 tight ends with the Kittle McBride, or just somehow he does fail, you get on a whole different build at low ownership. But I don't love any Ayuk, Debo, Kittle as one-offs, but I do like Purdy's price tag, so I'll probably have some of all of them and really just in those Niner stacks. Ham, actually, before I go to you, Ham, 600 watching. Let's try and get 300 likes. I think that's a very fair number, would help out a lot. So half the people clicking the like button, very easy to do. Takes a second out of your day. Helps us out a ton and gets good mojo starting for you on the day this Sunday morning to win some money tonight. Ham, what are you doing? Mainly the Purdy stuff I'm interested in. Anything on the other side, though?
Yeah, I'm with Hoop, and I'm tempted to just hit the lock button on that San Francisco 49ers defense. I mean, you want to talk about terrible quarterbacks. I think it starts with Baker Mayfield. He is awful, in my opinion. I thought this 49ers defense was broken than we saw last week. They got that bye. They got Chase Young. I'm with Hoop. I think that's a terrible, terrible spot for Baker and the Bucs to go out west to take on this 49ers defense that is got a really good defensive line. They're rejuvenated. They made Trevor Lawrence score 5 DK points last week, and I would take Trevor Lawrence over Baker. So, man, I love this 49ers defense. And then Purdy's only $100 more on FanDuel than Justin Fields, so I think he's kind of like your 1B for cash games. And if you stack them, I said it in my slate plan, I don't mind. This game reminds me of the Cowboys game last week where you were able to stack the Cowboys defense. They didn't end up getting there, but you stack the quarterback, you stack some pass catchers, then you stack the defense with it with no bringbacks. I don't hate that today. This is FanDuel talking, so I wouldn't pay 6.4 or 7,000 for Kittle on FanDuel, but Ayuk and Debo, I don't mind playing them and pairing them with Brock, and then with the defense on FanDuel, that would get a little contrarian. So that's kind of, I'm going to have a team of that.
I like it. Great breakdown. 2 games left on the slate. Pretty much 1 game for me. This one will be quick. New York Jets headed to Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 8.39 total. Zach Wilson still at the helm. Josh Allen, new OC, Dorsey gets canned. They have looked absolutely awful. Jets D, pretty respectable. Buffalo, a pretty tough place to play. I don't want any interest in this one, and it is my least favorite afternoon game by a mile for that 3-game slate. Ham, come back to you. What do you see in this one?
I think the only 2 that you could have interest in would be Dalton Kincaid on the Bills side and then Garrett Wilson for the Jets. I mean, these offenses are so bad. They should be good. The Bills should be good anyway. They're just not. But maybe Breece Hall, maybe James Cook. But I think it's either Kincaid or Wilson for me. Yeah, be short and sweet on that one.
Yeah, I mean, if you land on Kincaid, Brees, Garrett Wilson, I don't think it's the craziest thing. I just assume most people out there probably playing less than 10 teams, and I know if I had less than 10 teams, I ain't playing anybody in this one. What about you?
Just Kincaid, and more on FanDuel than on DK. He's priced in that what is he, like 58 range?
Yeah, 5,800.
Like,
100 less than McBride. I mean, it's a great pivot off of McBride.
Yeah. I think he's a really strong play on FanDuel. And that is about it. If you want to play like Brees Hall, sure. But man, Jets do such a good job of making these games like nasty and ugly, which is, better for them, but not good for fantasy purposes. I'm Kincaid on FanDuel, and I'll have him on DK a little bit as well, but nothing else here.
Yeah, I mean, you're just looking at that range of Brees Hall. It's like if you want to go cheaper, there's Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, James Conner, Singletary. You want to go a little
so many good dudes there.
Pollard.
He's going to have to beat two of those, whatever your list is. He's going to have to beat two of those guys, right? Like can he beat two of those guys? Like, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. I mean, he is that guy. I mean, he can break them, but I mean, they're going to stack the box. They'll make Wilson beat him. Yeah, it's field goal battle. I like that. We don't have to worry about in showdown. Let's get a field goal battle here.
I mean, the one thing I just want to say on Garrett Wilson, I think he's seen double-digit targets like in 3 straight games. I mean, they have nobody to throw to outside of Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Tyler Conklin. No, thank you. So Garrett Wilson's not the worst play. Like if you're down from the morning games and you can pivot and do a late swap for those afternoon games, I think Garrett Wilson's a great afternoon pivot if you're down.
There you go. Last game of the slate. It's an all right one. I like these earlier ones we talked about much more. Seattle Seahawks headed to take on the Rams. We got a decent total in this one. Matthew Stafford is back, 46.5. The Rams are 1.5 point favorites. I like Coop. I like Kupp. No doubt about that. He's very interesting. 8,100. Like people are still going to go Tyreek way more. There's that whole drop down range, the Hollywood Browns, Tank Dells of the world. I like him. Stafford back, good price tag. It's Cooper Kupp. I think Puka is fine. Darrell Henderson at 5K. No one's really talking about him. I think he's interesting. They're implied for 24 points. So I prefer the Rams side. Still don't like either quarterback or full stack, just mainly one-offs, and mainly just those three is how I'm seeing it. Hoop, what are you doing in this one?
Yeah, not the most exciting game. I'm not thrilled with the Seattle side today. Tyler Lockett, I guess he's officially questionable, but sounds like he's gonna play. But then there's another quote that said he needs to warm up before to see. Like, he's a tough dude. I think he gets out there and ends up playing. My favorite part, I think, of the Seattle side is going to be JSN, Smith and Jigba. Cheap. And there's a couple games where he got a lot of targets, but I don't necessarily love it. If you just run like an optimizer on FanDuel, you're going to get a lot of Geno Smith because he's cheap. But I don't know. I think I like the quarterback on the other side on FanDuel, and Matthew Stafford, very cheap. Not really a DK play for me, but at 6,700, he's under 7K on FanDuel, and I like his pass catchers. I like Kupp. I like Nkua at 7,100. And that's about it. So Stafford to those guys, losing my voice here at the end. Stafford to those guys on FanDuel. I don't mind the Darrell Henderson call. It's just a cheap, running back play. Good price.
Singletary pivot, kind of.
Yeah. And then the FanDuel price is nice as well at 6,100. He's in that price range. Like those guys right around 6K. Like, man, if they just get in the end zone once, you're kind of free rolling the rest of the game, and he kind of fits that. And I think he could get there because I do think the Rams have offensive success today at home. So Stafford to the pass catchers, a little bit of Henderson where I'm looking in this game.
Yeah, we're lockstep there. Don't like Seahawks side really. And I do think Lockett does play as well. I saw the Q tag. I'm expecting him to play. If not, then you do upgrade the DK Metcalf, that Bobo dude people always love. The dude's solid, man. No doubt about that. But expecting him to play. Ham, last game of the slate, pretty decent total, close spread. Still, we didn't have too much interest in it. What are you doing in this one?
I didn't hear either one of y'all mention Cooper Kupp, did I?
I did, yeah. That was the first one I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like his price tag on both sides. Like it's
8,200 and 8,100, I think. Yeah, he's
very strong
cheap.
play.
Yeah, he's way too cheap. He's a cash game guy for me over on FanDuel. Darrell Henderson, 6,100. Yeah, good play over there. I mean, I don't even think Royce Freeman is terrible. I mean, Royce Freeman got, I think, 12 carries, equal with Henderson last game in Green Bay. So he's 5,300 on FanDuel. And then on the other side, I'm a little different than y'all. I like DK Metcalf more than those guys. Big bodied receiver playing 90+%. Hadn't been in the end zone in a while. So, TD regression against this team. Rams don't have a very good secondary, so I don't mind some DK Metcalf as a bring back, but no interest in Stafford. And good gosh, I played Geno the last 2 weeks, and that guy, he's just been awful this year. I can't do it again. I'm out on Geno, out on Stafford just because I think they'll lean on the run more myself.
You don't like him on FanDuel either. I know you're primarily on FanDuel. Not 6,700.
Yeah,
no,
not for Stafford. No, no rushing upside, and I don't think he gets. Not that you get a bonus, but I don't think he can get to 303 on FanDuel. Is kind of what you need.
Yeah, he's like one of the last guys I'm deciding on FanDuel. The price kind of is sticking.
Play your Trevor
bit.
Lawrence and donate some.
Well, that's why I'm trying to bring Stafford into the mix. So I don't need to play as much Lawrence.
Yeah, keep him in. Then I'd keep him in for sure.
Yeah,
I think with Stafford though, you got to go double with Stafford. So just because he can't run, I don't know if you like Nakua and Kupp.
Yeah,
with the price tag though.
Yeah. I mean, there's routes where if he goes and gets 20, like that's good enough. If no one just goes nuclear on the slate at the position, so I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting. I haven't decided fully what I'm going to do with Stafford.
That's all 11 games. Appreciate everyone over 600 watching. Appreciate everyone hanging out. As always, Hoop, though, what's your final thoughts on this slate, though? It's a fun one. I'm excited for it. Of course, Tambo, 4 other members, sweating out 300,000, King of the Beach. Week 11, man, it's always sad getting to an end down here, but plenty of money to be made.
Yeah,
and I'm feeling good about it. What do you feel?
Yeah, quick turnaround too. Thanksgiving next week, so we'll have our show. I believe we are scheduled for Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So we'll be on the Mayo Media Network covering the Thanksgiving Day slate. So quick turnaround in terms of this slate. It's a good one. I think it's one of the more interesting ones we've seen in a while. I think we did a good job of kind of going through, identifying some different angles to attack on the slate. A lot of different routes to go. Very excited for this slate. And, as we mentioned, all our content's already live on the site over at shipitnation.com. If there's any changes, be highlighted in yellow. And then best of luck to all our members at the King of the Beach, Tambo and the rest of the crew. As mentioned, Tambo giving away 10% of his winnings today. Very, very generous of him. So rooting for him. And then again, anyone else in the Ship It Nation community that has a seat. Let's get to the top of the leaderboard today. Keep this momentum going. I'm feeling good about it. I think we're going to see a big day for the members, the Ship It Nation community.
Absolutely. And go head over to ToeTagginTambo on Twitter. I bet you he'll drop a link for you to sweat it out. And also, this is how you do a 5-star rating. Download the Mayo Media or MME podcast for entry. He's giving away 10% up to 6 people. Could be $30,000, $300K up top. Hambone, appreciate you stepping in for Tambo. What are your final thoughts on the slate?
Yeah, no, enjoyed it. Enjoyed talking with you guys. Enjoyed Jordan Love shipping his first ever today. So appreciate you guys loving my Jordan Love take. And good luck to all the members out there. It's going to be a good day. Like y'all said, we have several games, high 40s. So it's going to be a high scoring affair, one would think. So good luck to everybody down in Miami. Good luck to all the members. Good luck to you two as well, Hoop and Title.
Appreciate that. Head over to shipitnation.com if you aren't already. Projections, got them up on the site. Ownership, cash report, core report, GPP core report, that is. A Discord full of very knowledgeable members, a great community, so many sports in there, MMA, PGA, NHL, NBA going on as well today. Use that promo code MAYO for 10% off any plan, monthly, 6-month, or annual. That'll do it for us, though. Good luck, everybody out there. Let's see some Ship It Nation logos up top for Hoop, Hambo, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.